Everybody, welcome back to the stream. So today we will be learning about, let's learn maps in C++. So let's go straight into the today's topic, which are maps. So maps stores elements in key value pairs. All right, so you have a key and you have a value. Elements in a map are accessible by keys, not index. You have to note this. And each key is unique, automatically sorted in ascending order by their keys. All right. So you have the map header file. So here, this point is important. Each key is unique and you cannot access them by index, only by the keys. Um, and they're automatically sorted in ascending order by their keys. All right. To create a map, okay, you have that. And then like you create it this way, right? Map and then string, integer, and then the name, which is here you have a data type. Um, here first you have the data type of the key, and then you initialize the data type of the value. So first key and then value. All right, so that is there. And if you want to add elements at the time of declaration, place them in a comma separated list inside curly braces. So this is how we can do that. Comma separated lists inside curly braces. All right, so let's see. Let me just go to VS Code and let's just code these things. All right, so let us see. So I have VS Code here, and I'm just going to create a new file called maps. Let's go there and let us just see. All right, now we have this. Let me just include and let me also include maps. So for which you will need maps map, right? Just map here, the map header file, and then using same namespace std event main, and then you go inside. After this you'll have to declare, so declaration comes like map, and then you have angle brackets, and then you have to go with the data type of the key, which is string, and separate it with a comma. Now data type of the value, which is integer, close it. Name of the map, I'm going to just say, maybe it can be just name. Let's say again equal to, and then I'm going to go here. This is where we can write things inside. Okay, so this is how you can assign values. So angle brackets, inside of that another angle brackets, and then however this is the key, this is this string, that is the key, and then the value John, and then the value, for example, if you have it as age, right, the value is age. So assign age, and then other just random, and I'm just going to say what to do, and then you can add how much ever you want. So just keep adding, right? So 45, and it goes on how much ever you want you can add. Now after this, what can we do here to access a map? You cannot access map elements by referencing to index numbers. That is a key point here, like you would with arrays or and vectors. Instead, you can access a map element by referring to its key inside square brackets, as you can see here. So, how would you do it here? See out, right? See out. You have to access only by the key. So, if you want the first, this one, this element, right? So, how would you do it? Map, right? And then John. So, that would return that element over here, right? Here, let me just add it here. It's a string, right? So in the codes and here it's actually name, right? So we have declared name here. So that is how you can access it. Now if I print this, what is going to get printed? Let me just change this map. Let me just change this. What happened here? Okay. It was actually maps, right? So let me just change that. And it compiled. Let us also write it here, maps. And now it printed 32, right? So as you can see here, it printed 32. So that means we have retrieved the value here, which is corresponding to John. Now, if I wanted Dan, we can just see out name Dan, right? So that is going to print 42, obviously. So let us just do that. Okay, we forgot handle after this, or maybe hash slash n. Let me just do that. What happened here? I think something. Okay, we forgot to terminate this. We'll compile again. So now we got this 42, right? Which was the age of Dan here, right? So similarly, we can print anything. Um, what else can we do? We can use dot add function as well. So that is also there. Dot add function is often preferred over square brackets because it throws an error message if the element does not exist. All right. So you can use dot at, right? Um, create a map that will store. Okay, that is done. Try to access the element that does not exist. It will throw an exception. All right, that is for dot at. So if you use dot at, so that is better apparently. So let's try that. So see out. see out name. What's the okay? You have name dot add, and then if you say something that is not there, maybe Roy, right? Now let's see what happens. It should throw an exception, all right? So over here, this also compiled 42. For the last one, what happened is terminate called after throwing an instance of out of range exception. So yeah, so that element is not there. So it did not print. So change values. You can also change the value associated with the key. So obviously, if you want to update, you can update the value. Um, so suppose if I just say after this, if I want to update the age of John, so I'm just going to say name, right? Um, John, uh, okay, John, okay. So name, I'm just going to update it to, sorry, not the name. The age, I'm just going to update it. I'm going to say 43, maybe. Let's say 43. Now, when I see out, right? Let me just comment these two out. Just commenting these two out. So now when I print, it's going to print 43 as the age of John. See, as you can see now, it is going to be 43. So that's how we can update the value that is associated with the key. So that was that. Again, you can use the dotted function for this as well to update also. All right, add elements. To add elements to a map, it is okay to use square brackets. So this is how you can add elements. So refer, let us say after this, you want to add a few elements, right? So for example, if I want to add another element, so in that case, I will just say maybe um, Edward, Edward, and then I'm going to say um, 19, and another, let's say maybe we can have Jack, and also let's say age as 23. All right, so that is done. Now if I have to just print, right, now it's gonna get updated. All right, um now if I have to print though, I'll have to loop through and print. So that is the last, that is the last section, right? Um, so if you just want to check if they are added, you can just say over here, see out name, and then you can say Edward, Edward, and then also cout name, cout name, and then Jack. So that's good enough. Now if you see, right, I hope it is, oh yeah. So now you can see 19 and 23 printed, which suggests that these two elements are added into the map, right? Then what do you have over here? Um, you can insert, you can also use the insert function instead of adding it this way. So this is how you would use the insert function, right? Dot insert. I'm not sure why you would have to use insert. Um, what is the what is the use of um, what is the use of the insert function? Insert function over square bracket in. Let's see. Advantage of using the insert function. Okay. Insert prevents overwriting existing keys and provides safety for types without default constructors. It aggressively modifies the map by either creating a brand new element or overwriting an existing one. Alright, so it overrides. Okay, so it's like for safety, alright, I think. Um, okay, I preferred key value because it feels natural. Let us see preferred dot insert. Okay, as a neither of us can remember the reason, but I'm sure it was not a start difference. Okay, so there is this benefit, right? Um, before subtracting the value. All right, so that is an issue with square brackets that it prevents the overwriting existing keys, right? And provides the safety. And also you have not required default constructor for insert, but you do need a default constructor for this square brackets. Return value returns a pair containing an iterator and a bool. Returns a reference to the map value. Directly constructs copies a key value pair. Default constructs a blank value first, then assigns over it. Okay, got it. All right, all right. Uh, so it's majorly for type safety, I would say. I mean, like for safety. Um, and yeah, so that's why you can use the insert instead of the square brackets. If you want to use the insert, then I think you can just do it this way. Name dot insert. It's pretty straightforward here. Name dot insert and then this angle brackets, right? And then uh, yeah, it's a function. So first you have this, right? And then you have this angle, and not the angle brackets, curly braces, and then inside you just update or insert the new value. Let's say Edward itself here again, and similar to how you would do the previous thing. So dot insert, now you have this inserted, right? Now if I remove, let's just use a new value here just for reference. Let's comment this as well. Now if I check, it should print 21, which is what I got as well. So we have successfully inserted this as well using the dot insert function. So e elements with equal keys. A map cannot have elements with equal keys. For example, if you try to add Jenny 2 times to the map, it will only keep the first one. So you cannot have the same key. All right. So there can be only one, right? You can update this value, you can update Jenny, but you cannot do it like an insert another, right, Jenny, right? There is only one key. So the keys are unique. So that is what it is. And after that, there is erase. Erase is just going to remove certain elements. Whatever you want to erase, that is straightforward. Dot clear just removes all the elements. What else is there? Size of a map, yeah, similar to the other things. This counts as one size. So this counts as one size. So like that, the size becomes 3. Dot empty to check if it is empty. And also you can loop through a map this way, right? So this is a for each loop, right? So if you want to loop through the map and print all the elements, so after all this, I am just going to loop through here using a for each loop. So let us say for maybe names in name or name in names, whatever. Um, just going to say for and then see out names, see out names. Here we need a type. So what type can we say? Oh, so here this is the main change here. You have to say auto because there is no fixed type here, right? So you have to say auto and then let me just print. All right, so that is what it is. You have to say for names in name and then you have to print it this way. Person dot first, right? Person dot second, all right. So that's how we can print. Um, so dot first and dot second. Okay, so you have to include dot first to access tree. Okay, dot second to access the values in the loop. All right. So dot first for the keys and the dot second for the values. Makes sense, right? Let me just have a separation over here and then let's say names dot second. Okay, now let me just print. Should print those values. So it did print. Little bit messy, but it did print the values. Let me just make it a bit more clearer. So for that, let me put a space over here too after this. All right, and let me just have Maybe instead I'll just have a slash n. That is better, I guess. Names dot second. Okay. Right. Um, let's see what happens. So yeah, now it is better, right? More readable. So that's how you can access the elements in a map. So using a for loop. So yeah, that's it for today, I guess. I hope you don't have any questions. Let me see. Let me just see. Uh, if you so yeah, I think there are no questions. So I think we'll wind up today here. If you like the live stream, please do consider subscribing um for future such live streams, and also do share it with your friends who might also like it. So yeah, um until